Hi guys, just like to show off my 1954 Morris Minor Series 2 split screen. Had this car since August 2019. Quite a lot of work to do on it, or quite a lot of work I have actually done since I bought it. It wasn't really roadworthy when I first picked the car up. So, you know, had to do quite a lot to get it roadworthy. By the time it was back on the road, the pandemic had set in. So really, it hasn't had as much use as I'd have liked. All the car events through 2020 have been cancelled. Now we're into 2021 and still waiting for things to reopen and start happening again. But I have actually done quite a lot of work in that time just to get things up to scratch. Lots of mechanical work on the engine, electrical work, a few leaks here and there which still need to be sorted out. When it pours down, you do tend to get a bit of flooding in the boot still. So what I need to do today is replace the rear windscreen rubber, because we still get some leakage down through the seal behind the back seat, and then you end up with a small lake in the boot. Previous to that, there was quite a lot of water coming in around the old rubber seal on the boot lid, but that's all been replaced now, so it's much better. So as I say, still a few bits and pieces to do, but most of the major work's been completed now. It drives very nicely. A little bit of work still to do on the engine, I'd say, just to bring it up to scratch, make it run as nice as I'd like it. But let's show you inside and show you the last job I did yesterday, which was to fit an ammeter to keep an eye on the charge levels. It does still have the old dynamo, which provides enough power for the electrical systems the car's got, and I'd like to try and keep it as original as possible. But I think having that ammeter under the dashboard just gives me a little bit of peace of mind, so I can check the car isn't discharging as I'm driving it. But yeah, let's open it up and take a look. Right, here we go. Let's take a look in here. As you can see, everything is very original. And considering the age of the car, it's all in quite nice condition. Still a job for the future. As you can see, it's not too bad, but the leather is very dry and cracked. So this is on the to-do list. But let's take a little look. Here we go. So there's the old Series 2 Morris Minor interior. As you can see, you probably can't see there, but the car's got just over 108,000 miles on the clock. None of these gauges was working when I first got the car, but mostly down to just dirty contacts and sticking needles, nothing really too serious. Everything works great now. Got the old Smith's heater under the dashboard, a little retrofit radio here that I fitted. There we go. And here is the ammeter. Sorry about the lighting levels, but I found a little period ammeter which suits the car very nicely. And it's also, if I flick the lights on, you can see it lights up along with the gauge lights, and looks very nice, I think. There we go, there's a better view. If we turn the lights on a little bit more, you can see how it registers a discharge, so it's working nicely. There we go, and off we go. The old Tudor pump action windscreen washer, which has now decided to completely fail, so that's another thing which needs fixing. I'm going to keep the original control and actually fit a little electric motor there to make it a little bit easier to clean the windscreen. Glove box, full of spare points and bulbs and whatnot. So, all very nice. Have a little ashtray. And obviously a little grommet there as a mascot. So, today's job will be to replace this old seal here, because this is very hard, the old rubber seal, and as you can see it's starting to crack. Apologies for the atrocious state of the car as well. It's been very dusty here. I've been doing a lot of tidying, even though it still looks a bit messy, but it's a lot better than it was a few days ago. So I've never done a seal before, a window seal, so this will be a learning experience for me. I'm sure I'll get plenty of comments on what I've done wrong, but I think the thing to do will probably be cut this old seal out. Might be the easiest way to do it. Remove the windscreen, clean up the surround. I'm not sure what kind of condition the metalwork's in under here, but in general it's very solid, this car, so the bodywork is relatively good. So I think we need to get to it and try and remove this glass. And there we have it. One old windscreen, rear screen. There we go. Luckily we got it out in one piece. So yeah, what I am surprised about is that the glass is actually bigger than the opening, and so it looks like it has to be fitted from the inside. That's going to be nice and awkward, I think, when it comes to refitting this. It's larger than the actual opening, unless it was fitted incorrectly to start with, but I'll have to do a bit of research on that one. So here we have it, there's the opening. On a positive note, it doesn't actually seem too bad underneath the dirt. It's a little bit crusty, but I think it should clean up okay. So I think we need to prepare this and then think about getting the new seal on. There we are. And there's the old seal, what's left of it. I think well past its use date. And there's the glass, so I'm going to clean that up round the edges and put that somewhere safe until we can refit it. Okay, fast forward a couple of days. I did a little bit of research on the Owners Club forum, and it looks like it is perfectly normal for these rear windows to be fitted from the inside out. So there's lots of advice on the best way of doing it. Lots of comments saying don't bother, just get a professional to do it, but you never learn that way, do you? So I think what most people say is it's a good idea to soak the new seal in hot water So that's what I'm going to do here. Got a big bucket of hot water, and that'll help to soften the rubber, might make it slightly easier to fit anyway. So I'll shove that in there. There we go. Right. Also, what I'm going to do is put some car shampoo. Got some Meg's car shampoo here. I'm going to put that in a spray bottle and get it to come out. Right, and that'll just help make things slide easily when I try and get the thing together. Get plenty in there. Right. And then I'll also put some neat around the seal just to help get the glass in and get it into the frame properly. So let's get plenty in there. Hopefully that should be enough. There we go. You see, and I've also got this glass handler here, which should make things slightly easier, help me hold the glass in position while I'm trying to pull the rubber around. And what I'm going to do as well is use this piece of earth sleeving. There's no actual wire in there, but I'm going to put that around the outside of the rubber seal, and hopefully that will help me work the seal around the frame. So let's get all this together. Also prepared the outside of the metal frame as well, because there was a slight bit of surface corrosion around it, which I will show you now before I make a start. Okay, here we go. As you can see, it's just a little bit of surface corrosion. It was virtually like new on the inside. It's pristine. So what I had to do, I had to just give a light sanding around the outside, and I used a touch-up paint just to go around to seal it from the elements. It's going to be covered by the rubber seal, so it doesn't need to look pretty. I think that's good enough for what we need it for. So I think once this rubber seal has warmed up nicely, we can start to get this seal around the glass, which I will clean up first and make sure it's well soaked up, and then see where we go from there. Okay, so let's give it a little wipe down with this first, just to get the last of the residue from the old seal off the edges. Wipe down. Same on the other side. Make sure we don't get any bits of grit stuck between the seal and the glass. Nice. Let's take a look at this seal now. So this is the outside of the car, and we know the biggest, like a small lip that goes around the frame on the outside, and then there's a big rubber lip that goes on the inside to cover the trim around the window. So we need to go that way, I think. And let's just get some let's work some extra stuff around inside the frame, just to make things slightly easier for us. There we go. Just anything that makes our life a little bit easier. Now there is a moulding seam here from where the new seal was made. Now the old seal had that at the top, so not knowing any better, I'll just keep with the same plan and have this seam at the top of the glass. So let's see how this goes together. Okay, I think that's just about in. Doesn't seem to be particularly tight around this glass. Hopefully once it's in the frame it should be okay. So there we have it as the outside and the inside. Okay, so what I've done now, I've squirted a load more car shampoo underneath the outer part of this seal, and I'm just feeding this bit of earth sleeving around now. So hopefully this will help us to bend the seal over the frame. So we push this under all the way along. Go. So in the centre, at the bottom of the screen, I'm just going to leave this bit hanging out, something to get hold of where we can start pulling from. And there we go, there's the other end. And now, use the glass handle. And make sure this has a good grip on the glass, because we don't want that slipping when we're halfway on. And there. Right, and there we go. Now for the difficult part. Right. Now a bit more shampoo around the frame. Try not to get it all over the seat. Here we go. Okay, well, fast forward a little bit after some messing about, but this is the second attempt. First time I tried, the glass was very slightly too far to the right, and I fitted the rubber all the way around from the left hand side, and it was just too tight to get this seal to seat properly on this side, so I had to take it off, start again from scratch. But the second time it's actually gone quite nicely so far. So I'm just working this cord around just to get the last part of the seal in. I'm trying to be patient, take my time so I don't rip the seal, because it would be a shame to ruin the thing right at the very end. Every now and then just give the glass a good firm pull just to make sure everything's seated nicely all the way around. But it seems to be going in quite nicely now. And just slowly round in circles like this. And then every little while just make sure the seal is seated properly. Let's just move this up a little bit. So I started from the bottom in the centre here, and then on one side worked maybe halfway to the corner, then plenty of soap, and then halfway to the corner on this side, and then just bit by bit alternating, and it's gone in quite nicely. So after reading all the horror stories on the Owners Club forum, I almost did get a professional fitter to come in and do it. But I'm glad I tackled it myself, because that's how you learn, isn't it? And maybe the next time I come to do one of these, it'll be just that little bit quicker. There we go. Look at that. Just make sure it's all nicely seated all the way around. Let's give it a good shake. Give it a rattle in the frame just to make sure it's properly seated. And that's actually very nice. The rubber seal seems to be tight against the glass all the way around on the inside. And where it's not, you just give it a little manipulate just to make sure it's not pinched anywhere. And when it rains, if there are a couple of little tiny drips coming through, it's not the end of the world, because I've got a tube of windscreen sealants over here, which I'll show you now. This stuff, screen seal. And it's like a black butyl rubber solution, never quite set, so it always stays soft and pliable. And what you can do, what I had to do on the front seal, is you just pull the seal back, and then you just work the sealant in all the way around, and job's a good one. So just make sure it's seated properly, and seems very nice. That much better than the old seal anyway. And then 1, 2, get rid of that. Lovely. Okay, well I think that just about wraps it up for now. I think I'm quite happy with that. I hope this video has been some use to anyone who's thinking about changing a screen in the car. All I would say, if I had to offer some advice, is don't take it too much to heart when you read 50 comments from people who've tried and failed and say just give up, get someone in to do it, because you'll never learn. I would always say give it a go, and if you manage to do it yourself, then it's quite satisfying. Take your time, don't rush it, take it methodically, step by step, plenty of soap. Apparently not washing up liquid though, because it has such a high salt content, it can really damage the rubber seals over time. So stick with something like a car shampoo, because that's designed to be okay with, you know, rubber seals and things like that. But yeah, try it yourself. You know, all I would say is never use any metal tools, never use screwdrivers or anything to try and pry the seal over the glass. All it takes is one minute chip in the glass and it will crack. So always use plastic tools and take it really slowly, bit by bit. Don't force anything, otherwise, you know, you'll end up tearing the seal and having to start from scratch again. So that'll do for now. Take care and good luck.